Guys, I appreciate you hanging on a couple minutes. I want to talk to a few of our players before coming in here. I'm a little bit slow at the locker room, so that'll probably be a running theme going forward forever. Listen, just to kind of sum up the game right now as far as the feeling, obviously we played a good team today. We can't give a team like that extra opportunities. We can't give them short fields. You know, teams like that are going to make the most of it. They're well coached. They're very talented. They have explosive players. They have a good pass rush. And they have opportunistic DBs that we allowed to make plays. That being said, I'm very proud of the way our team fought. I'm very proud of the way they finished the game in the second half. Our defense going out there not giving up any points. Our offense going out there and moving the ball down the field and taking advantage of situations. I thought the 2-minute drive at the end was very telling of the fight we had. And at the end with the penalty, obviously that's something we got to clean up, and we can't shoot ourselves in the foot. So, again, you can church up that language right there in the quotes, Jordan. But at that point, I'll open it for questions.
Zach?
Hey, Joe. Obviously, the thing on everybody's mind is about Saquon going down, hurting his knee. I'm just curious if there's anything you could update us with that, and how much of a blow is that? A guy like him was obviously such an important part of your offense going down as early as he did like that.
Well, I'd say, first off, I thought the offense made really good adjustments to the game plan as we went for a number of reasons, one of which obviously being the injuries. In terms of Saquon individually, I don't have a diagnosis on his knee. He's going to see some doctors tomorrow. We'll wait and see what that is. Obviously, we're all praying for the best. I would just say this, regardless of whatever the outcome's going to be and what the doctors say tomorrow, I wouldn't fall asleep on 26. It's going to be a hell of a story either way.
Thanks, Joe.
Dunleavy?
Joe, how did you think Daniel managed the clock there at the end? I know he had no timeouts, but it seemed you guys were taking a lot of the underneath stuff and not any, shots downfield.
Well, I thought we had time to move the ball. Obviously I had to use the timeouts in the 4-minute aspect of it to make sure we had time when we got the ball back. That's a situation we practice regularly. I thought Daniel and the offense did a good job, put ourselves in a position, clocked it, we had to stop it. We got the passes out. We did a good job overall as far as moving the ball systematically down the field. And look, you're standing on the 10-yard line with, one play to go. That's really what you're working for in the 2-minute drills, just to give yourself an opportunity. I thought the way it was called was the right way. I thought the way our players executed, we converted some third downs, a fourth down in there. We gave ourselves a chance. Obviously, we have to eliminate the penalty on the last play. But, Daniel did a good job extending the play, moving out of the pocket, giving himself a chance to find a throw. Obviously, look, it wasn't good enough because we didn't win the game. But it was something right there I thought we worked on that showed up.
Joe, 2 moments I'm wondering how you handled. One was when you had to carry Saquon over to the sideline, just what the emotions were during that time, and then how did you handle halftime? Because it did seem like your team really responded coming out of the half.
Well, I'll be honest with you, halftime was a lot like the practice you guys wrote about us restarting. We didn't come out here with the right kind of energy to start the game. It was a wake-up-and-go deal, and that starts with the coaches, okay? It starts with me. So we had to kind of restart ourselves a little bit there at halftime and make sure we came out understanding there's 30 more minutes of football and we're going to give ourselves an opportunity to win. In terms of carrying Saquon off the field, that was just simply he's a big dude, and I wanted to make sure we can get him over there with as least amount of stress on his leg as possible, and kind of just take the weight off it. You don't want to carry any player off the field.
Yeah, just any update on Shep?
Nothing officially. No, he it looked like the defensive back landed on his foot at the end of the first half. He caught that big ball across the middle in that 2-minute sequence we had at the end of the first half, getting in field goal range. He tried to play through it. Obviously, it was something that he couldn't really run full speed on. So he'll also see the doctor. We'll see where he's at.
And then just defensively, how tough was it to stick with the sort of, kind of passive, you weren't rushing, a lot of guys weren't blitzing because it wasn't working early, but it seemed to come around.
Yeah, I mean, this team, obviously presents you with a lot of things you have to deal with, whether you can rush 4 or 5 at times. You had to put some extra guys in coverage the way they were playing. The extended plays got us early. The touchdown on the first drive really resulted in an extended play by the quarterback, and then the same thing at the end of the half. We've got to make sure we finish, and that was part of the emphasis of keeping, an extra guy in coverage to really kind of watch the quarterback and try to eliminate some of those, extended plays. But in terms of just going ahead and rushing, whether it's rushing with 3, 4, or 5 at different times, I think we have the personnel that we're able to do some of that within the scheme. So these guys have to understand, what the scheme calls for. It's not always a sack situation. Just collapse in the pocket, put some pressure on guys. I thought they did a decent job overall. Obviously, there's some plays that we got to clean up on right there. We got to start a little bit better in the fourth quarter right there. That was something that kind of showed up early on. But the defense did a good job throughout the second half of kind of bend, don't break. That's not really a trademark we're looking for. The most important thing is points, defensively, and they stood up in the second half, and they were good in all the drives.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Sam.
Chris.
Hey, Coach, with everything that happened in the first half with Barkley out, Shep goes down later on, the 2 turnovers by Jones, and then you find yourself in a position, you come down to the last play of the game. What does that tell you about your team right now?
You know what? We asked those guys today, we said we're going to find out a lot about ourselves. We came out at halftime, we said we're going to find a lot out about the team we are. You're down 17-0. What kind of team we're going to have. It's never about what happens to you, it's about how you respond to it. I like the way our guys responded. We've got the right guys. We've got the right kind of guys, okay? We've got to clean some things up. We've got to improve by not putting ourselves behind in games, by making mistakes that we can control. It starts with turnovers, penalties, and mental errors. Really, the mental errors we were good on today. We played a smart brand of football. We have some things we have to finish. But the turnovers, that's hard to overcome. The penalties, we didn't have a ton, but when you have them, they're always costly. So we've got to start with the things that we can control, and we have to play a good brand of football. In terms of the guys in the locker room, look, it's a tough, resilient group. It really is. It's a young team that's learning a lot, but they're learning a lot in these first 2 weeks about what we have to do as a team to capitalize on our opportunities. And we have to make sure we stop spotting opponents' opportunities to take advantage of our mistakes.
Thanks, Coach.
We got time for 3 more. Rock, Lombardo, and Jordan. Tom, Rock.
Joe, what did you think of Dion's performance? Probably more carries than he's had in quite a while. And obviously you didn't foresee any of this happening, but what went into sitting Wayne today?
Yeah, we just made the best decision personnel-wise of what the game plan called for. There's a lot of things that factor in. It's never just run game or pass game. Our offense, there's 3 sides of the ball, so all the roles and factors as well as what the defense does on the other side, they all play a role. Sometimes you may sit a guy on offense because defense may need something extra. So it's never directly related to just one guy. There's a lot of things that go into it. Now, in terms of Dion, I thought Dion was able to make some plays for us. Caught the ball in space, able to extend a few plays. Did a good job on the goal line, punching that ball in on the fourth and goal right there. So, look, Dion's a tough dude. I've been around Dion for a long time. One thing you know about Dion is he's prepared, and the guys really respond to him because he is a tough dude, and he's got that look in his eye. He's going to do whatever it takes to, work with the team and benefit the team. So I was proud for how he played out there today.
Lombardo.
Hey, Joe, you had Nate Ebner in there at safety early in the game. Just curious what went into that decision. It seemed like he kind of got caught out of position on that early Bears touchdown. Just what went into playing him there, and your thoughts on what happened on that play?
Yeah, we're going to use everybody on our roster in every game plan however we see to benefit us. There were some situational calls where we thought that he was a good fit for what we're looking to do, both with his communication awareness on the defense. He's a very experienced player, and he's a very, very smart player, a very smart player. You put him on the field, he's a guy that players can play faster when he's around because he kind of calms everything down. That being said, we had some specific roles for him within the game plan. He happened to be in it, early in the game. But we won't hesitate to play Nate in any situation.
Last question here, Jordan.
Hey, Joe. Where does the team go without Saquon Barkley if he's out long-term, which seems likely?
We go back to work. That's where we go. We go back to work on Wednesday. We start plugging ahead. We got a tough opponent next week. They're going to be hanging on the East Coast waiting for us, next Sunday. That's where we go. Our vision has to be forward. Whatever happened today, win or loss, it's over. Today's game's over. What's important is our players learn from what happened. We clean up the mistakes, and we push forward, and we go to work with the right mentality, which I know our guys will.
And also, how do you make sense of Daniel, right? There's obviously a lot of good he's doing. The second half, he was really good in that second half, but there's 2 more turnovers today. That's 4 in 2 games so far. There's been a lot of good, but then you still have 4 turnovers in 2 games.
Yeah, we've got to keep this guy playing aggressive. He's a tough dude. He's standing in the pocket. We'll watch the tape, talk, and address some things with him specifically internally, but I like the way he's playing aggressive and giving us opportunities, in some tough situations. As a team, we have to stop shooting ourselves in the foot.
Hey, Daniel, obviously without knowing the severity of Saquon's injury, how tough is it to see your teammate kind of go down like that, and have you had a chance to see him back in the locker room or anything like that yet?
Yeah, definitely, tough to see anyone go down, especially a guy that works as hard as Saquon does, and we don't know, what it is yet, but certainly keeping our thoughts and prayers with him. He's a guy who comes to work every day. I know he'll attack any challenge, and and we're all here to support him. So, always tough to see a teammate go down.
Pat Leonard.
Hey, Daniel, how frustrating was it to turn the ball over early? And then conversely, how did you feel about how you guys responded as a team in the second half to your first half?
Yeah, tough first half for us. I'd like to go back and look at the turnovers, and certainly got to do a better job with that. So, we came out in the second half and we responded as a team. I thought we were able to play some complementary football with the defense coming up for us and making big plays, and the offense, able to move the ball and score some points. So, ultimately we ran out of time there at the end, but we responded, and we certainly got to start better.
What was Judge like at halftime?
He was, we were all motivated. I think we all know what we're capable of, and he certainly does. And, that we're capable of much more than what we put out there in the first half. So, that was the message. And I think guys heard it and responded there going out in the second half.
Thanks.
Ralph.
Daniel, I know that you don't know the full extent of Saquon's injury yet, but it seems possible he'll be out for at least a little while. How do you rally the team without such an important player, and what did you learn from the brief time you didn't have him last year?
Yeah, we'll look at it. I don't think anyone knows exactly, what the injury is or what that sets us up for. So, dealing in hypotheticals right now isn't the most productive thing. But whatever it is, we'll respond as a team and do the best we can going forward.
Art.
Hey, Daniel, on that last drive, obviously it stalls with the penalty, but a couple of plays before that, did you guys expect a flag to be thrown? It looked like Evan may have been held at the goal line, and it seemed to kind of throw things off.
I'll have to go back and take a look at it on that play, but those are all, tough calls, tough situations, and, we got to find a way to execute down the stretch.
The range of emotions when you see the flag down there, did you think that you got a defensive penalty and that you were going to get one more shot from the goal line, or was it pretty obvious from field level that it was going to go the other way?
No, I initially thought that was going to be defensive. We were going to get another shot there at the goal line. So, like I said, go back and take a look at it, and we'll see. But, it's up to us to execute it and find a way to get it in there.
Thanks, Dan.
Rock.
Daniel, what were your options there on that last play? I was calling it a fourth down play, but the last play there with 4 seconds left.
Everyone's getting in the end zone on that play, so they played. They knew that and played zone in the end zone. So just finding a spot, and everyone's certainly an option there. So, like I said, I like to go back and look at the play and learn from it.
We got time for two more, Dunleavy and Jordan. Dunleavy.
Daniel, obviously you guys bounced back there in the second half, but in the second quarter, Saquon got hurt on the first play. I'm wondering if that deflated you guys at all. You threw the interception right after. Some guys on the TV camera showed some guys on the sideline, hanging their heads a little after Saquon got hurt. I'm wondering what that did to you guys in the second quarter before you bounced back.
I'd say it's tough to watch a teammate go down, certainly, but that's a situation where we need to take control and respond as a team, and I think ultimately we did that. So we got to play a better first half. We all know that, and come out from the opening kick and not hurt ourselves or put us in a hole.
Last question here, Jordan.
Daniel, this was supposed to be the game, right? You get all your guys back the first time. You have all your weapons, and then Saquon gets injured, Shep gets injured. What do you make of that? I mean, it just hasn't worked with you guys getting all those guys on the field at the same time.
Yeah, certainly a tough break there for us today. But I know those guys will battle, and I think they'll attack the challenge, and we're excited to support them, and we'll have guys step up. So whatever the situation is, we'll attack it and respond as a team.
How do you move forward if Saquon's not available long term?
Yeah, like I said, I think no one really knows what the situation is right now. So we'll understand that as the week goes on and respond, move forward as a team.
Hey, Dion. Obviously, you couldn't plan for Saquon going down the way he did, but what was it like for you going in, being thrust into the spotlight like that, and having to get as many touches as you did, especially when your teammate went down as early as he did?
Just had to stay ready. I prepare every week, all week, like I'm gonna be in there every play. Because you never know what's gonna happen. So I just always stay prepared, and unfortunately, I had to go out there a little more than I normally would have to, but I was ready.
Thanks.
Tom Rock.
Dion, did you get a chance to talk to Saquon after the game?
Yeah, I spoke with him.
What was his mood like? Where was he?
I just told him to keep his head up, stay positive, believe in God. Nobody knows what's really going on right now, so just try to keep his head up, because he's a great kid, and we've grown extremely close since I've been here. So definitely feel for him.
What do you guys do? How do you guys carry the running back room now if he's not going to be there for a while?
It's going to take all of us. We got Wayne, myself, we all got to step up. Obviously, Saquon's one of the best running backs in this league, so nobody's going to be able to do what he's done. We just got to do what we can do, try to be ourselves, and do whatever the coaches ask us to do, and work hard every day.
Thanks, Dion.
Jordan.
Hey, Dion. How big a loss is it if he's out long term?
He's Saquon Barkley, so you lose a guy like that. It's a huge loss, but as a team, everybody got to step up. Receivers got to step up, O-line got to step up, the running backs got to step up, quarterback got to step up, defense got to step up. Everybody got to step up. It's not going to be one person step up to make up for what he's done. It's going to take all of us.
Appreciate it.
Lombardo.
Dion, how does your role change moving forward here without Saquon?
I'm not sure. I'm going to keep working like I always work. I'm going to take the same approach in practice like I always do, prepare like I'm going to be in there every play, and just stay ready. That's how I've gone throughout my whole career, just always stay ready, prepare like I'm going to be the guy in there every play, even most of the times I'm not. So I'm going to just keep doing what I've been doing, and whatever the coaches want me to do, I'm going to do it.
Is there an experience in your past that kind of prepares you for this, where you kind of thrust back into a starting role?
Probably, I would say, 17 or 18, my last year with the Patriots. I didn't get the ball much in the beginning of the year, but things changed and I started getting it. So, just kind of keep the same approach I always keep, like I said before. Work hard every day. Study and prepare for the games like I'm being there every play, whether it happens or not. And that's gotten me far so far.
Thanks.
Don Levy.
On the 1-yard touchdown run, seemed like the defensive line got good push. Was there a hole there? Did you just have to fight through that because you knew it was fourth down? What do you see from your eyes on that touchdown run?
It was 4th and goal. From the 1-yard line, got to do whatever you got to do. Mindset, just get in, whatever I got to do to get in. Kind of got low, hit behind some of the big guys, and just kept my legs moving. They did a great job getting a lot of push. I think I felt like 3 or 4 yards inside the end zone. So the O-line did a great job, and that was a key play for us in the game.
Last question here, Chris.
Dion, you guys moved the ball better in the second half. What adjustments did Garrett and you guys make in that second half?
We just stopped being ourselves. First half we were being ourselves. We weren't making the plays we needed to make, and everybody just stayed together. In the second half, kept pushing, kept fighting, and just all the work we put in camp and practice, we try to make sure it paid off. All the conditioning, all the running we've been doing, kind of used that to our advantage in the second half, and you can see the difference between our condition and their condition, So I think we just got to look forward to what's to come, build off that second half, and learn from the first half mistakes. So I think, we have a great week of preparation going in, and try to clean some things up.
Blake, I was wondering, in the second half, it looked like you guys were having a little better luck against Trubisky and on the short dump-off pass. I'm just wondering, did you guys make a change? What did you do differently, or what changed there?
Yeah, I think first half we were just hurting ourselves, just missed assignments and things like that. Second half just refocused in, talked about doing our one of 11 and just doing our job on that given play, and things started kind of going in our favor.
Thank you.
Hey, Blake, on the one play on their final drive, I know they ended up missing the field goal anyway, but it seemed like you guys had that play, that throw to Graham, played perfectly. You get the deflection. When you see Massey, an offensive lineman, catch that ball for a first down, what's the range of emotions in that situation?
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, it was a tough situation. Obviously, knowing if that play was coming, I knew there was going to be a late leak by the tight end. So I was expecting it, and obviously to break it up and it goes straight to an offensive lineman, something you don't expect. Obviously, you hope it's the other way. It goes to one of our defensive linemen. But at that point, you have to be a professional and basically get ready for the next set of downs and get ready to stop them and make them get to that position to miss that field goal.
Thanks, man.
Dougie?
Hey, Blake, I know you ultimately made the stop on that drive, but what was going on early there where they were able to pick up some yards on the ground and run some clock?
Yeah, so it was just one of those things, little missing assignments here and there, just not doing our 111 that I was talking about, and I think that was the one kind of lapse we had in that second half, where it was just little plays here and there, and they were able to just hit the ball straight downhill where they shouldn't be able to.
And what did you think about just the way you guys responded in the second half? Because obviously it got off to a little bit of a tough start.
No, yeah, I think we did the things necessary that we talked at halftime, made the certain adjustments, but it's something that we talked about that we want to be able to do that for 60 minutes, not just 30 minutes.
Thanks.
We got time for three more. Jordan, Dunleavy, and Rock. Jordan?
Hey, Blake, I'm curious, what did you guys do to be able to keep it together? It seemed like at the end of the first half, everything was sort of spiraling out of control, but you guys did sort of right the ship. I mean, what was your approach as like a team leader going into halftime there?
Yeah, I think we had certain things said, but the main aspect was just doing our job on every single play, because that literally, if you go back through the first half, that's what kind of bit us in the foot. And that was the main coaching point from the coaches. And once we went out there, kind of prided ourselves on making sure that each and every one of us worked together, each and every one of us trusted one another to do what we needed to do on each play, and started making plays, whether it was interceptions or tips for interceptions and things like that.
You make it seem calm, like, it was, we've seen these guys coach. They said they're going to coach hard. Was that the approach at halftime, or was it, they were getting into you guys hard, saying this is what needs to change real quick?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it was just the normal kind of routine for halftime adjustments. But at the end of the day, it comes down to all of us buying into it and actually getting it done. Because it's one thing for a coach to tell you, hey, this needs to be done to win the game, but it's another thing to go out there and execute.
Dunleavy?
Blake, when you guys are only rushing three and dropping everybody else into coverage, like I think that was most of the game, certainly the two touchdowns. What challenge does that put on the back seven there to hold your coverage for longer?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about kind of working together hand in hand, making sure we have certain aspects to the play to make sure that guys on the back end aren't covering for so long, guys in the front end aren't rushing so long. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things that we all have to execute at that position, no matter where it's at, and be able to execute whatever the rush is or whatever the coverage is on the back end.
Last question here, Tom Rock.
Blake, did you get a chance to catch up with Saquon in the locker room after the game, and just what was it like on the sideline watching him being hoisted off the field basically by the coaches?
No, yeah, it's definitely a tough moment. I mean, I don't know exactly what's going on completely, but I saw him and said, hey, praying for a quick recovery, whatever it ends up being, and yeah, hope to see him back as soon as possible.
How hard was that? You guys, the defense was on the sideline obviously at the time. You see him go down and have to be carried off. That must have been, a little bit of a downer.
No, definitely. Anytime any player gets hurt on your team, it's one of the guys you work with through training camp, you work through the first game, obviously, and all those moments grinding together. So it's definitely a tough moment. And he's, one of the hardest workers I've seen. To obviously have that moment happen is definitely tough.
Hey, James, can you describe to us how you made that interception? And then just what did you think of the defense's overall day, plus and minus?
Well, I was a man-to-man on that side of the field. Gave me an outside release, tried to get hands on him at the line. Then, I felt the ball in the air. Of course, I didn't see it because I had my eyes on him, and I was going to make a play through his arms, and I just happened to be in the right spot at the right time. I was able to get one hand on it and pull it through as I came to the ground. And overall, as a defense, as our performance went, I feel like we played real well in the second half. We just got to start off faster in the first half. That's all that is.
Thanks.
Duggan?
Hey, James, you're obviously the most established corner in the secondary. Any surprise the teams kind of keep going at you early in the season?
No, not really. I was matched on that best receiver, their go-to guy. So in critical moments they're going to go to their go-to guy, especially when you have a young quarterback. He wants to go to his playmaker.
So how much do you relish that then if you know they are going to come after you?
It's whatever to me. I know I'm going to have my opportunities. I just know I got to make the most of my opportunities, and my goal is to make sure he doesn't have a catch at the end of the day.
Thanks.
Tom Rock?
James, was that your first interception where you probably didn't even see the ball in the air?
Yes, sir. I think so. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then just to change tracks a little bit. What was it like when Saquon had to be helped off the field there after he hurt his knee?
Of course, your heart stopped for a minute, but we don't really know the verdict of Saquon's injury right now. So prayers up to him, and we're hoping for the best.
Lombardo?
Hey, James, it seemed like the defense really turned it around in the second half. What triggered that, and what was the mood like in that locker room at halftime?
We just knew we had to make a play on defense. We had to come out there, we had to stand up and make sure the offense knew that we had their back, that we was going to get the ball back to them. Pretty much just a fight mentality.
Did Joe or Pat or somebody step up at halftime and deliver some sort of message? Because it seemed like just the entire vibe of the team was different coming out at halftime.
Nah, it's not really a message or nothing. It was more so the players coming together. We're all we got when we go on the field. So we just had to talk with each other, and we knew we had to make a play. And that's everybody's mentality as soon as we step on the field. We got to make a play, got to be able to come back and win this game. Unfortunately, we didn't.
Ed?
James, there are no moral victories, and you guys lost Saquon today. You're 0-2. But, going forward as a team, can you take anything out of the second half, at least as far as how you came together, how you played as a team in the second half?
Well, I can only speak for the defense. And I know as a defender, being on our defense, we feel like we're a dominant defense. I feel like we showed that in the second half. And that's going to be our mindset for this point on every time we go on the field. Just be dominant and do what we did today in the second half.
Last question here, Dunleavy.
James, I saw you throw your hands up on your head like you couldn't believe that offensive lineman caught that fourth down pass. How did you guys bounce back there? Because if you give up another first down, the game's over.
Yeah, I was surprised that the lineman caught the ball. They got a tough break right. Well, they didn't get a tough break. They got lucky right there. But like I said, you got to make a play in critical moments. And we knew we had to line up and we had to fight for another 4 downs. And that's our mentality. No matter what the situation is, we're gonna fight every play.
And you guys are 0-2. How do you bounce back from that? Just because I'm sure you've seen over the years, there's some pretty devastating stats about 0-2 starts and teams going to the playoffs. How do you put that out of your mind?
I try to create my own history. I know we're 0-2, but we still have 14 games left. You're just gonna move on to the next game and try to win the first one.